This is the after show of Monday Night Raw. We just saw Bray Wyatt, and I could not believe I'm saying this, Roman Reigns in a match together for the first time. And honestly, as a tag team, they look great. That was a solid match. I have to give props to both Roman Reigns and I have to give props to the League of Nations. They all did an exceptional job. Um, I was not expecting that to be a good match. I didn't think it was going to be watchable. I thought it was going to be really bad, but it turned out to be an okay match. I really did like it. And not to mention that, well, if you get those two together, that being Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, you're really uh, not asking for much to be bad about it. So, yeah, I thought it was really good. So, once again, welcome to Way of Wrestling. I'm your host, Vassell Big Ox Uchiha. And basically, this is what I do every Monday, at least starting now. And you're going to see more things coming down the pipe with a way of um, seeing as that is kind of like my thingamabob. And so, Way of Wrestling is just one entity, just one um, variation. There's going to be many more variations to come in the coming months. And hopefully, I will be able to get good content out to you. And yeah, so as we start, I would like to just take a moment to thank anybody that comes in or anybody who views this thereafter tomorrow, especially since I know it's pretty late at night. It's 11:14 in the a.m. I mean in the p.m. So I can understand from an Eastern standpoint. I know a lot of you probably have to get up and go to work tomorrow. So if you even take a moment just to watch this video, I thank you. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into the card. I'm not going to hold it long because honestly, I don't want to be long winded. The first thing I would like to look at is on our card is Shane O'Mac came back to once again did this week's Raw and in my opinion, did a really good job. First off, let me call him what I really want to call him. He's Shane Obama, okay? That is Shane Obama, big man, and he sounds like him. He talks like him. He all but became a black guy over like within like 5 seconds because that's who he pretty much became, and he was the most democratic. Um, yeah, the most democratic McMahon I've ever seen, and that's my wife in the background, by the way, if you can't see her. Um, Shane really did a phenomenal job. He, in fact, I loved everything that Shane did. Everything from, you know, pushing the young talent, getting young talent in and enjoying itself. Um, I even like the fact that he kicked Owens out of the arena, and Owens actually stayed away. That was awesome. I thought that was a great way of doing things for once. Usually, a guy comes in, he gets kicked out of the arena within an hour, he's back on the show, and it was good to finally see someone go away and not come back. Another thing that I liked was the interaction between him and Kevin Owens. I like the fact that he treats Kevin Owens with so much respect, but at the same time, he's not afraid of Kevin Owens. He's not afraid to tell Kevin Owens that he's not afraid of him. He's telling them like, hey, I'm not afraid of you. I have nothing to worry about. If you got a problem with me, fine, but you can have a problem at home. And you got to think about it. This is your boss. So if this is your boss, you got to give him the respect that not only does he do, but more so the things that need to be said to a boss when the reverence and sense of a boss that you don't come up against your boss, the guy that's signing your check. When that is the face that runs the place, you don't unless your name is on the billboard, you don't have the right to even talk left to your manager. And even in that instance, you don't have a right to talk left to your manager. So good on Shane to show that dynamic between a boss and, I mean, a real life dynamic, not one that you can just rebel against your boss and it's okay. The fact that we got Kevin Owens versus Cesaro was a great match. It wasn't the most stellar of a match, but it was pretty good. The LA crowd, in my opinion, was the most boring crowd I have ever seen in my life. I mean, really, really boring. They gave a couple of big pops, of course, to Bray Wyatt, and they booed the heck out of Roman Reigns. Dr. Phil did a pretty good job, but I mean, the crowd was really not into it. So we know Cesaro beats Kevin Owens for the WWE title. I mean, not the WWE title, but for the chance to go on and face The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sorry about that. Ric Flair, the new women's champion. That's what I'm going to refer to him as forever, because that's what he is now. He is definitely, legitimately the women's champion. Charlotte is technically the women's champion by default. That's only because, let's just face it, Ric Flair doesn't have boobs. Okay, that's the only reason why. So in kind, he can't hold the belt, but his daughter can, and since his daughter can, so he basically lives vicariously through her. I like the dynamic between him and Dr. Phil. I think Dr. Phil did a really good job of analyzing Ric Flair and Charlotte's relationship, and I hope this is a slow turn of face for Charlotte. I really would love to see her develop as a character beyond Ric Flair. I think that they need to separate them personally. I don't like Ric Flair in the women's division. I think it's time to let him go. They don't need him to establish it. In fact, they need to get rid of him so that they can legitimately establish this as a women's a division who honestly stands alone or just as important as the male division, which in part Ric Flair is not doing him any justice. Dr. Phil did own Ric Flair, by the way, with the woo, woo. Every time Ric Flair was about to do, he did it before he did. I loved it. It was awesome. Of course, we know that Natalya goes against, in an awesome match against Charlotte. Those two work well together. Both very athletic, both very good chain wrestlers. Very good match between the two, and I personally enjoyed seeing this, and I hope we see more for the two of them, at least for the time being. This is what AJ Lee and Natalya should have been, but of course it wasn't. But that's okay. The next match on the card that I would like to talk about. Let's see. New Day. Yeah, Kunde. Kunde, New Day, whatever you want to call them. To me, they're the same, one and the same. You can't call one without calling the other. The New Day, in my opinion, are the most coonish guys you're going to ever see in your whole entire life. And I really don't like the New Day. I really don't. I wish personally that the New Day would go away. Um, the fact that you have someone like Enzo and Cass, they're supposed to be what the New Day should be. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you got to be hood and all these different things. But if these ain't the most shucking and jiving brothers I've ever seen in my life, oh boy. And they're very educated. I'm not going to take away from what they know. And I'm not saying they're dumb or stupid or, incapable men. I'm not saying all that. I'm not getting into their personal about who they are as people because I don't know. But their characters on Raw, in my opinion, are very coonish. They're bucking eyes, Samboing the whole way through. I don't particularly care for their characters. Uh, they're not really down to earth to me. I like the fact that they win a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that they've held the championships for all this long. But my thing is, why do you have to do all of those things in order to be that way? And don't get me wrong. Edge and Christian have their silly moments. The Dudleys had their silly moments. But this is beyond that. This is really kind of just really, really, really bad coonish behavior. And I just personally don't like it. Excuse me while I adjust. I just saw my camera a little bit looking kind of sideways. Okay, that looks better. And I just want I just think that they could be a better team. I think that they could do a lot better in the long run. Without all of the cooning. I think they're funny guys, but excuse me. So yeah, so that's what I think about them. That's what I have down for them. I really don't have anything. They didn't do anything today. They didn't contribute anything in my opinion. The whole Bootios thing or the crowd. I don't know. The crowd seems to like them. Who doesn't like a shucker and jiving? Samboing. If you're gonna do all that, then yeah, you would love it. The Dudley Boys versus the Lucha Dragons. Man, it's an okay match. You can easily just slice any cruiserweight type match against the Dudleys. The Dudleys are going to look like the Dudleys, and they're going to always smash mouth, beat you down. They did a good job, but that's the only thing I can say. Enzo and Cass interrupting them. They keep trying to recreate the same scenario, and honestly, we paved the way for guys like you. Please don't Kevin Nash the Dudleys. Please don't turn the Dudleys into Kevin Nash. They deserve better than this. I think they're too good of a tag team to take them down this road. So please, oh please, WWE, if you even listen to me in the least bit, please, oh please, don't keep doing this to the Dudleys. We know the Dudleys were the ones that paved the road. We know the Dudleys were one of those well-known tag teams over the years, but they don't just deserve the credit; they have the credibility. So to have this conversation over and over again is kind of acidine, actually acetine, in the words of Skip Bayless. So it's just really, really unneeded. And they're fan favorites. They're being booed for, but really, it's no need. Really, they transcend titles. You can have them just as a legitimate tag team who wins on a regular and never goes for the belts. And I can tell you, most people would not even care if the Dudleys ever held a championship. Just like Shawn Michaels, if he was to come back, he doesn't have to hold the championship. Just having Shawn Michaels is good enough. And you don't need to make them a heel just to have it that way. They're good enough to do things on their own. So I don't really see the need for the Dudleys to be playing this role. I think they need to go a different route with it. I would just peg them as just that, the best tag team legitimately of all time, one of the best, held all the major championships except for the WCW, I believe. And what else can you say about them? Just leave it at that. That's just my opinion about that. Let's see. Again, Enzo and Cass, I personally don't care. I don't know what the heck I'm even looking at. I can see the crowd loves them, and if you like Macklemore, I guess this is who you're going to like anyway, because that's what it reminds me of. They remind me of Too Cool without being too cool. They look like dudes from like 1997, 99, maybe. To the early 2000s. They're a little ways back, actually. They don't even look brand new. It just doesn't look right. I don't like what I'm seeing from them. Their persona, I guess, is supposed to be cool. I don't know. Guess they're trying to be wiggers or black guys. I don't know what they're trying to go for. They don't impress me. So I mean, but if you like that, that's good. You know, I'm not gonna rag on who you like. But that's just not for me. Okay, so Roman Reigns comes out and tries to do a promo, and let's just say this: he can't call a promo by himself. He's the guy is bad. Okay, JBL calls Roman, if I remember correctly, and yes, I'm looking up because I'm trying to say correctly. He called him a certified BA or badass, and I don't see anything about him that says that. And don't get me wrong, he's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he can beat the snot out of somebody, and I like that about him. But this whole I'm not good, I'm not the good guy, I'm not the bad guy, I'm the guy. That's all like something Ryback should be saying, not him. He needs a manager really, really bad. You know, Yokozuna had one. For a while, Hulk Hogan had one. He had Jimmy Hart, even though he could put on his own promos. He still had Jimmy Hart. You know, for a while, Paul Heyman and Cesaro and Paul Heyman and anybody else you could put with them. We need good managers for people like Roman Reigns, who honestly on the mic is absolutely horrible. He can't throw a good promo to save his life. He's boring. He's a tiring person. He makes me want to go to sleep just listening to him talk. Uh, and I actually have to thank the Wyatts every time they come out because they at least give me something to look forward to. Because honestly, listening to Roman Reigns talk is like listening to, like, I don't know, a washing machine in the middle of the night, air blowing over rain, rainy nights where when you have nothing else, well, you're trying to take a good sleep. You know, you put on the rain sounds and it makes you go to sleep real fast. White noises, that's what they are. That's what Roman Reigns is. Roman Reigns is white noise. Okay, he's white noise because he makes me want to go to sleep. I just can't take his promos. They're horrible, horrible, terrible, just terrible, terrible. They need to stop. Okay, just give him somebody. Put him with someone great. And honestly, make him stop talking or just talk minimally. You know, let him just be a BA then. Let him be just that. Come in, beat up guys, and walk away. I like that idea. An enforcer type guy. And holds the belt and keeps the belt. That's a good idea. Let's see. Once again, thank you to the Bray Wyatt for coming out and saving the day. Or as that would have been a useless moment. And speaking of a really kind of useless moment, the highlight reel with Chris Jericho. I'm not even going to get into the two matches before the main event. I'm just going to act as if those don't exist. So if I don't talk about them, don't get mad. Okay? Because that one black guy, I can't think of his name right now, that is not a part of New Day. I'm not even going to give him any holler right now. He's athletic, but I don't care. You tell me what his name is. I'll talk about it from there, and that's cool. But I won't go any further than that about him. He doesn't impress me. He's not that good. Solid wrestler. You know, he fills the spot. That's it. I don't care. Let's see. Next one in line. Let's see. What else did I give any care about? Oh, the intermission match. The Usos versus the Social Outcasts. I don't care. I didn't care the whole time. Either they could have let either one win because it really didn't matter. Gallows and Anderson came out and beat the snot out the Usos, which they really did. But I mean, about time somebody finally did it to the Usos. I don't care about the Usos, so I don't care about Social Outcasts. So the both of them not being in the main event doesn't matter to me. Let's see. Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles, the best match of the night. Period. You know, you may like the Divas match or the women's title match. I didn't like it too much, but I mean no, I take that back. I loved it, loved that, but I did not like the Usos versus Social Outcast. So honestly, you could have put the Social Outcast in that same bracket as Usos, and I wouldn't even care one way or another. About meant nothing to me. Um, I think they could have went with other characters. I think to squash the Usos was a little bit more legitimizing, though, if I could say that. So yeah, so I've already talked about how good the main event was, so I won't go into that again. I think it was a great intermission um, highlight reel with Chris Jericho. Tonight, I give you the drink of Jericho. Drink it all in. That was the best line of the night. That was awesome. I love the fact. I love the fact that Dean Ambrose comes with a memo, an actual memo that he didn't get. And I don't understand the big hole in the paper. Didn't make any sense, but it was there. Um, I love the fact that he gave him a speeding ticket. That was a pretty funny thing. I like the interaction between the two of them. I like that they finally gave Dean Ambrose a segment to himself. I think that's going to kind of piperish him a little bit. That's pretty much as far as it's going to go. Overall, how did I feel about this episode of Raw? Was it the best episode I've ever seen of Raw? Probably not. I've watched a lot of Raw over my years, and this is probably, honestly, if I had to give it a solid rating, 3 out of 5 stars. I mean, it really wasn't the most important Raw. I mean, it didn't do anything but set up for the next pay per view. If you're looking forward to Payback, you now know what your car is going to pretty much look like. Um, I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see where these tag team divisions go. I want to see more of this Wyatt and Roman. It would be awesome if they went in the route of giving him Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt the titles, just as they did long ago when they made what was it? It was Undertaker. No. It was Batista and Eddie Guerrero when they made them champions, and they didn't work. They weren't supposed to be friends. Or Benoit and Angle. You know, one was holding the belt, and they end up becoming a great tag team. Held the belts for a minute, and then the gentleman. I think that would be great because, really, to be honest, I'm gonna say it again. Roman needs somebody with a mouthpiece because brother cannot put a promo together. He needs help. WWE, please, oh please, give Roman help. Give Roman help. Hashtag give Roman help. Okay. And by the way, again, please, oh please, get rid of Roman's comic book background because all it does is make me dislike him more because you're trying to build him as a superhero and Roman Reigns is not a superhero. So that is my Raw review for Way of Wrestling. Once again, thank you for coming down to see me at Way of Wrestling. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And you tell me what you think about tonight's Raw. Tell me what was your favorite match tonight. Tell me what you thought about Roman Reigns and his promos. Do you like his promos? Would you want to see more of that, or would you like to see something else? By the way, if you can, hit the like button and tell me, or the dislike button for that matter. Tell me what I can do better. Don't just come by Way of Wrestling. Tell me what I can do better to better Way of Wrestling so that you can have a better experience. And of course, to get more of you guys involved in the thing. And if you send me, if you hit the like and subscribe button and you give me a comment, I will shout you out on a future episode of Way of Wrestling. Once again, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And thank you for coming out. Love you guys. Peace. And about all hair grease.